Hey guys, this month's hang compression, we're using a single ring and just doing a tuck to a pike position. So you're working on holding that tuck for as much of the 30 seconds as you can, and then you're going to extend the legs and go into that pike position for up to 3 reps, so 1 to 3 reps. It's very hard on the core, so obviously you want to work at the level that's right for you. You want to have that nice dead hang down first, in that position, and then from there we're going to tuck up, extend and tuck. You want to avoid the front lever, so you don't want to tuck and front lever where you kind of use those lower traps and the lats to kind of bring the butt up. You want to try and keep the toes below that ring so that way you're getting that compression, as opposed to doing more of a front lever type position where you're coming up at that and your toes are going to be way above that bar. So you want to work on getting flat through there. It's quite heavy on the neck, shoulders and the core. I find it quite difficult, but obviously I've got a bit more flexibility in my hamstrings to make that part of it a little bit easier, but it's still quite heavy. So watch out for kind of quad cramps on it. Then you're going to use the band to do the tuck compression. So you just want to keep that pressure on it as you put it on, come down. So whether you lift off on this or not is not the point. You want to try and get that band anchor so it's slightly in front of your fingertips. So you bring the fingertips back, pike right up, and then you can tuck and pike, tuck and pike. I did a little bit of a cheat with a little bit of a lift off there, 1, 2. But ideally, what you want to work on is where you can just stay off the ground. So you've got like just a piece of paper underneath your toe tips that could fit through there. You're not quite touching the ground, and you're in that pike, really flat, compressed, and then you tuck up into that little ball. And to make it even harder, you could tuck into that kind of tucked handstand where your spine straightens out, which is very heavy, or just stay into that nice hollow tuck position. Then for the legs, pretty simple, just coming down into that nice tuck position, hands are on the ground if you like, and then you're going to straighten those legs out. So it's much the same, only the weight's not so much in the hands. If you did have some dumbbells and you've got a step, so I do it loaded with my hands hanging down, and then go like that. You could do it like with your own hands, so holding your heels and pulling yourself down into that tuck, that little ball, and then pulling yourself down into that pike to load it. The extra weight's an option, it's not necessary. You can still get a great workout without. If you did have a step or a chair, an option, which is pretty cool, but I like for people to not have to use any equipment other than rings and bands, but this does work as well, where you kind of get right down into that tuck. I even go like that so I can get a bit lower, and straighten out. And you've got something a bit lower to hold on to. Hard to kind of just get through there, because you'll find in that position with the knees on the inside when I go up, and it won't be so tight, so I have to bend the arms to pull myself in. That's pretty cool, but because they're all flexion movements in the spine, you're always aiming to counterbalance the spine, and because the first one's a hang, it's good to do it as a push to get the release before you go back in, and then you can also do a wrist release at the same time. So get that extension traction, breathing on that, breathe out, relax. Focus on these is always the length, not extension. Length first, then extension, so you're not just jamming those facet joints through the lower back, trying to counterbalance the pressures of those 3 movements in a row, and then you go to a 30-second rest on that extension traction. 4 rounds of that, 8 minutes, so progress through it, make it a little bit harder. By that 3rd and 4th set should be the harder version, but the first 2 rounds just really warm it up and just go with what feels right on the day. All these movements is gymnastic strength movements, but all of the training, you really want to listen to the body and work with it. Some days I don't feel like I can push myself that hard. I might have trained a bit harder the day before, or the last couple of days I got a little niggle somewhere. So I just go through the motion and enjoy the training. And that's my focus, is to always walk away feeling better and to make my body feel better as a goal, so that way I can enjoy my life more. Whereas sometimes you hold yourself to a version and force yourself to do it, and then you end up, cool down, and you can feel that niggle that was there before a little bit worse, and that's how you over time can create more instabilities as opposed to getting stronger. So keep listening to the body, work hard, and enjoy it.